Hey everybody, number 52 in the Criterion collection. We return to Japan, and we return to Akira Kurosawa, and we return to samurais. 1961's Yojimbo, which is a tentpole samurai film. It is highly influential. So the story itself is kind of straightforward nowadays. Uh, the main character is a nameless samurai. At some point, he's asked for his name, and he looks out of the window and sees some mulberry bushes and names himself after those plants. So like he's the man with no name, which we'll come back to. He wanders into a town where the entire town is in the grips of these two rival gangs, right? There was a gang, it had a schism over leadership, and now there's two gangs fighting for supremacy, and everything in the town that's not related to gang activity is mostly people just like locking themselves in their houses and hiding under tables. It's a miserable town. And our hero, the nameless one, walks in and becomes friends with the guy who runs the restaurant and decides he's going to clean up this town by playing the two sides against each other and using trickery to make them wipe each other out, and then he'll clean up whatever fragments remain because he's a really good swordsman, but apparently also has a strict moral code because he is here to clean up this town and turns down several opportunities to just make money or run. That's the basic plot, right? And his schemes don't always work, which is nice. At some point, they blow up in his face, and he deals with that, which is it's better than having a perfect hero. Now, if the plot sounds at all familiar, it's because first of all, this movie is based off a Daryl Hammond. Hammond? I'm sorry, I had this prepared ahead of time, and then I clicked away, and I guess I forgot the name of the guy. It is Dashiell Hammett, a famous noir writer. In particular, Kurosawa says it's based off of his book The Glass Key, although many people have pointed out that the plot is closer to a different Hammett novel called Red Harvest. So at least one of those is the basis for the story. The story was then unofficially remade as a Western, A Fistful of Dollars. It's close enough that there was a lawsuit that the Fistful of Dollars team had to settle before the movie could be released. But of course, that's the famous introduction of Clint Eastwood's Man with No Name. There's also a Zatoichi film, Zatoichi Meets Yojimbo, where the same lead actor here, Mifune, I am so bad at this. Mifune, who plays the samurai in Yojimbo, is also playing a samurai in Zatoichi Meets Yojimbo, but characteristically it's not the same guy, right? Different personality and everything. But interesting, Mifune, who plays the main character in this, is in several Kurosawa films. We've already seen that. Japanese cinema must operate very differently than American cinema because I started comparing him. I thought Clint Eastwood would be a decent American actor to compare him to, since, Fistful of Dollars is a kind of a remake of Yojimbo. So I looked at their two careers. So Clint Eastwood was active 15 years more in the industry than Mifune. Because Mifune died. So Clint Eastwood has the edge on, time to be in movies. But Clint Eastwood has been in around 60 movies, and that's including some that he was just a director or executive producer on. So Clint Eastwood has had a hand in about 60, 70 movies. Mifune, in 15 less years of acting, was in around 170. Eventually we'll get to Zatoichi and you'll hear me talk about that series because that's 26 movies, 25 of which came out in about a 12-year period, all starring the same actor. And then he did 4 years of television as that same character. I I don't know how the Japanese film industry works, but clearly it works at a faster, more frantic pace than Hollywood. And having worked on some, admittedly not Hollywood films, but having worked on some professional films, I have a hard time picturing a more frantic pace to work at. Anyway, so another thing, since we mentioned Zatoichi, the fifth Zatoichi movie, Zatoichi on the Road, I think has almost the exact same plot as well. I say I think because, again, 26 Zatoichi films, the plots do kind of start to run together after a little bit. Um, the film is very good. It is an excellent samurai film. I have come to appreciate samurai films over the last like 6, 7 years of my life. I never really watched them before that, but I've come to really enjoy them. I do recommend this one if you like samurai films, if you like foreign language films. This is as samurai film as it gets, right? Also, if you're interested, there is a series of comic books called Usagi Yojimbo, based conceptually off of this, written by a man named Stan Sakai. It's very long running and it's also very good. It does a lot of Japanese legends. It's about a ronin, which is a masterless samurai wandering from town to town and getting in adventures and generally doing the right thing and helping people. All of the characters in Usagi Yojimbo are animals. The main character is a rabbit. But I think the main reason for that is the simple art style makes it easy for you to distinguish multiple characters because they're different animals, right? The art is not overly complex. So the different animals makes it easier to distinguish than different humans would be. Anyway, it's very good. If you like samurai stuff, I do recommend hunting it down. When it comes to samurai movies, there's always, you never know what to predict when it comes to the level of violence. This one, for example, is called out for its violence. In some screenings or whatever, there's been issues with it, which is weird because I'll do this Joe Bob Briggs style. This movie has one severed hand carried by a dog, one severed arm cut off in a fight. So there are two dismemberments. There's no blood in the movie except near the very end. So it's a lot of, one slash and a person falls down dead, another slash, another person falls down dead. But there's no blood during that sequence. The only time you see blood in this movie is at the end when a significant character has been killed and is dying slowly in the ground. You do eventually see a puddle of blood forming underneath them, although it is black and white and they are in the dirt, so it doesn't even really look like blood. Oh yeah, also it's a black and white film, but it's very pretty. It's very well done. I enjoyed this movie a lot, and a lot of people did. It was hugely successful. So successful, in fact, Kurosawa had already planned his next film, which is the next film we'll be reviewing, Sanjuro, from 1962. So, like, he was already working on it in his head as he was working on this film. And this film became such a huge hit that he made changes to the next film to include this main character again. Now, I haven't seen it. I don't know that he's the main character in the next one, but apparently he shows up as his character from this movie in the next one just due to the success of this movie. So, yeah, next time I will be watching Kurosawa's Sanjuro, and we will then know how big a part Mifune plays in that one. And again, I apologize for my complete inability to pronounce Japanese names, to pronounce any foreign names, honestly. Yeah, it's a real struggle for me. Anyway, thank you all, as always, for watching. I guess I've got another samurai film to watch. Oh no, woe is me. I'll see you guys next time.